I'll send it to you if you want.
There we
Oh,
go.
it's
Okay, I
recording.
got it. We're good. All right. Should we let Jeremy in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When I let Jeremy in, say, good morning, Jeremy. Wait for it. Wait for it. And good morning, Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Good morning,
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Morning.
Happy unbirthday.
I
All
love
right.
the love.
I'm going to go ahead and get started. We've got a great group today. My name is Lars Henriksen, in case I haven't met you. And I'm really excited to be filling in for Dave and Kristen today. They're busy with their families, and I know that it's a real honor for them to ask me to lead this group today. And what I want to do is, first of all, give you a quick background of where I came from, and then let you know what I've been learning for the last 9 months here at EXP. And it's been an amazing journey. I've got a great group of agents that I work with. Some of them I knew from previous careers in real estate, and then others have joined us since. And I tell you, it's a fabulous time to be with EXP. I could not be more excited. Anytime there's changes in the industry, there's always opportunity. And I think that if each one of us looks at our business that way, we're going to have incredible months going forward. So, so I've been with EXP since December of last year. And I'm one of those people that waited about a year to make a move. I knew where I was going for my last company, but the timing just wasn't right. So about, well, really last November is when I left my last company. And after 20 years of being a managing broker for Long and Foster and for Century 21 Redwood, I joined EXP. And I knew that I wanted to build a great group of agents to help them not just with their real estate business, but also to grow their revenue stream. And one of the, as I'm sure all of you know, one of the unique things about EXP is that we're able to share in the company dollar. So for those of you that I don't know that may not be with EXP, I'm going to explain how that works, and then just let you know what I've been learning. Many of my agents know that I'm an equal opportunity thief, so I love to rip off and duplicate from the best people. So I'm going to give you some names today, and I hope that you're taking notes because I've got a lot of information I want to go over with you. And then if time permits, I'm going to share with you something that I just started using again, which is an incredible spreadsheet to show how agents that are not with EXP can be making a lot more money just on the fees that they have to pay with the franchise fee. So you guys ready to get started? Let's go. All right. Let me see if I can get a little more shade. Yeah, it's going to be challenging today. Okay, so I'm going to go over two things. One is my top tips for agent attraction. Okay, and are any of you readers? Any of you all like to read? A couple of you? Okay. So I encourage you guys all to become readers like me. I love reading and learning. And so the first tip I want to share with you is that, and again, today is about agent attraction. It's not about working with buyers and sellers. It's about growing your team so that you can have a great revenue stream when you decide to stop selling as much as you're doing now. So the first tip really comes from this book here. Where are you? Can you see that book? Anybody read Atomic Habits by James Clear? So some of you have. That was EXP's book of the month last month. So he talks about when you form new habits, you have to first start with making that decision that this is what you want to do. And I know a lot of folks that are in real estate, we get in thinking that we're going to be working with buyers and sellers, and none of us really had that opportunity to share in the company dollar and in the successes of the company. The companies I've worked for in the past at Remax, or at Long and Foster, at Century 21, we didn't have those opportunities like we have here. So I know it's a bit of a mind shift for many of you that aren't really thinking about doing revenue share. So the first step is to make a decision that this is for you. And by making that decision, and then starting to set some goals, it will absolutely help you go forward with your agent attraction. So he says in his book, he says the seed of every habit is a single tiny decision And as that decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows stronger. So right now, if you're not really focused on agent attraction, you may want to do it, but until you make that decision, and this is something that you want to be focused on, part of your daily routine, you're not going to do it. So many of you may be at the 100% selling and 0% agent attraction. What I want you to start thinking about is investing some time, if you want to do this, and I'm sure most of you do if you're on this call, to start investing some of your time in agent attraction. So I'm going to give you some really good tips on how to do that. So the first step is make that decision that this is for you. You might start spending 10% of your time doing agent attraction. And that number can grow. And I think as you see that there are already systems in place for you to do this and be very successful, you'll be more focused on it. All right. The second step is to set some income goals. So I'm going to give you a few examples. So the easiest one is if you attracted 5 agents on your first level and helped each one of those 5 attract 2 agents, that would be 5 on your first, 10 on your second. At the old revenue share, before revenue share 2.0, you would be making about $46,000 a year in additional income. That's about $3,800 a month. Now, most of you know that on July 1st, we changed the first level to $4,000 per agent up to in revenue share for that agent's first 12 months. So if I bring on somebody after July 1st, their first 12 months, I can make up to $4,000 in revenue share. And one way, if you haven't done this before, one way to calculate where an agent caps at EXP, it's about 3.2 million in volume at 2.5%. So just something to think about. They'll cap if they'll hit that $16,000 of company dollar if they do that kind of business. For those of you that are real go-getters, I'll give you another example. If you attracted 10 agents on your first level and each one of them had 2, that would be 20 on your second level. You could make up to $92,000 a year in revenue share. That's about $7,700 a month. And, you know, when the people that I've met with EXP in the last 9 months, you know, we talk a lot about how this changes people's lives. And if you think about it, if each one of us had an additional $8,000 in income, residual income coming in every month, for many of us, that's a life changer. Would you agree? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
All right, thank you. So if you're thinking big, so I'm a big Gene Frederick fan. I've got a lot of fans, a lot of people that I looked up to in this business, and most of you know who Gene Frederick is. So every first and third Monday, I'm on a call with Gene at 3:00 Eastern time. And a few months ago, he said, what if you really focused on a 5-year plan? So remember, we're still on tip 2, which is setting goals. So let's say that for the next 5 years, you've sponsored 5 people on your first level. So that would be 25. If you multiply that by 2,800, that's $70,000 a year in revenue stream. If each one of those 25 just brought on 2 agents, and I have some folks in my team already have 3 in 9 months, phenomenal. But each one of those just brought on 2. That's 50 times $3,200 of potential revenue share. That's $160,000. Okay. If you had 75 people on your third level, we pay out $2,000 per agent. That's an additional $150,000. Remember, we're talking about a 5-year plan. On your fourth level, let's say you just had 30. That's $1,200 up to. That's another $36,000. And on your fifth level, you had 20. And remember, we have 7 levels. That would be an additional $16,000. If you add all those numbers up, folks, that's an additional $432,000 a year in revenue sharing. And the way I look at it, and I really believe this, we are helping agents change their lives by joining EXP. So it's that kind of an opportunity. So set some goals for yourself. How many agents do you want to attract into your group? And the great thing about EXP, I hear this every single day from all of you, that we're all helping each other, whether you're in my family tree or you're somewhere else in the country. I know Jemima joined us this morning, and boy, what a great person you are, Jemima, to share with all of us what you're doing. So you were on last week. So we're all
Thank you.
You're welcome. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent.
Good. So here's your third tip. And every book I read about agent attraction and about if you want to hear another good book, Brian Carruthers has a book called Building an Empire. He has 300,000 people in his group. He's not with EXP, but his dad ran Prudential Carruthers over in Maryland for many years, and Brian was kind of regarded as the bad seed because he didn't want to do real estate. So he built this huge empire through network marketing. So his tip, and my tip to you, the third tip is create a list of agents that you want to have in your group. Okay. And it can't be just a couple of names. It needs to be a really big list. So I'll give you some ideas on just on agents alone. Anybody that you've worked with in the past on a transaction, it's good to go back 5-7 years. And I'll give you some dialogues in a minute on how to approach them. It could be folks that you've worked with in the past with different brokerages. A lot of us have worked with different brokerages. It could be if you're involved, like I've been at a local real estate association. I was very involved for a number of years with my local association. Great experience. If you haven't done that before and you have the bandwidth to volunteer at your local association, it's a great career move. So it could be a local, state, or national realtor association that you have those kind of relationships with. I love going to open houses and broker opens. That's another great way to meet agents. They're there. They want you to come in and see the house. It's a great way to engage and just, plant that seed, build that rapport with them. Sphere of influence. So how many people in your sphere of influence that you're marketing to with your real estate business, how many of them know that you're building a team of agents throughout the country and throughout the world? Remember, we're in 24 countries now. We're in all 50 states. So that's a great way to connect with them. Let them know that, hey, I'm in real estate helping buyers and sellers. I'm also growing a team. So who do you know that might be a good fit for us? Could be so friends, family members, your neighbors, past coworkers. I love talking to my title people and my lenders, all of my trades. I want to let them know what I'm doing. I can show them, and I'll get to Gene Frederick's napkin presentation in a minute. I can show them on a piece of paper why this model is different than any other model before it, EXP. So let them know that this is what you're looking to do and partner with them. And we have great sponsorship from our local lenders and title companies, but make sure that they know that this is your intention. And the list is endless. Think about all the people that are involved in a real estate transaction, your home inspector, the appraiser, the contractors. Let them know that this is what you're doing. You're growing a great group of agents. And then a lot of you are in BNI groups, lead share groups. That's another great source for referrals. And so make sure that they know that this is something that you're doing. And then on social media, I haven't really tackled that yet in terms of social media and marketing to agents throughout the social media. I've been busy with the folks that are on my team now, but I'm looking forward to doing that this fall. Another great resource. All right, step 4. This is for you prospectors. You love doing this. It's pick up the phone and make a phone call. So make the contact. So you can do it by text. You can do it by phone call. You can do it by however you message them normally. And what you want to do is you just want to call and say, hey, Kim, it's Lars. Haven't spoken to you in a while. Was wondering if you'd like to get together for a cup of coffee and catch up. Now, Lisa Carlisle, is that a hard yes or a hard no?
I think it's a very easy thing to do. Like, if you can't do that, what are we doing in the first place?
Right. Yeah.
Right. You start with the engage it all about them. It's all about
That's
them
right.
in that first step. Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I like to have a goal of making 2 new contacts a day. to folks that I haven't spoken to in a while. And I'm going to give you something that I just learned last Friday night. I'll save that for last, but it's pretty amazing. The list is endless, the number of agents that we can attract. So I do 2 a week. Now think about this, folks. If you're numbers oriented, if you're making 2 new contacts a day, 5 days a week, that's 10 a week. If you work 48 weeks out of the year doing agent attraction, ladies and gentlemen, that's 480 contacts that you can make over the course of 12 months. Okay. So if you just have a 10% close rate, that's 48 new members on your team every single year if they decide to join EXP, which a lot of them are. So and then what I like to do is I like to track all of my activities in a journal. That's just me. So I carry a journal around with me, and the journal has a lot of my notes. So if I forget, some nuance of our business, I have it right there. I keep track of all of my appointments in there. So it's a great way to keep track of your activities. And by the way, when you join Reach the Summit, what do you get? You get your own journal to do this. You guys all using your journals? Yeah. Cindy? All right. So, and so I just reach out and I say, hey, Cindy, it's Lars Henriksen. We haven't spoken in a while. Would love to catch up with you and see how you and your business is going. Would you be available for coffee next Tuesday or Wednesday? Okay. And most agents are going to say, I'd love to meet with you. Right. And so you have to get over that mindset that they're reluctant. It's an easy call. And before I meet with somebody, I want to kind of find out where they are with their business. So I do a little research. I look up on homes.com or in the MLS and see what their recent activity's been. If I haven't followed them much on social media, I want to see what they've been doing for the summer. Maybe their kids are off at school. There's a lot of information that we can gather before we meet with somebody. That way, when you meet with them, you have some more things to talk about. And I think the easiest thing to do when you meet is to just talk about Ford. So ask questions. If you don't know what Ford is, it's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Forge is also another acronym that is pretty clever. It's family, occupation, recreation, goals. And then when they show interest in what you're doing, the E is for entice. So entice them by showing some interest or enthusiasm about EXP. So what I like to do is say, so how's your business going? That's the O, occupation. And I allowed for them to, talk about the good and the bad and the ugly about real estate. Give them a forum to allow them to express themselves. If you know their family, a lot of times I start off with, how's your family doing? If I know that they have kids or, maybe brothers and sisters, parents. So I ask them about that. When the time is right, it's not always going to happen this way, but when the time is right, they may ask you about EXP. I mean, there's a really good chance, right? A lot of people want to know why I joined EXP. So you have to be prepared at that point to give them something. So I give them a quick version of Gene Frederick's napkin presentation. So I use this clipboard, and many of you have seen this clipboard because I take it with me everywhere. And I'm able to go over why our model is completely different. So if you haven't seen Gene Frederick's napkin presentation, there's a few different videos or versions of him doing it. And each time, he wants to do it a little bit better because that's how we are. So I'm able to do that. And I give them some ideas on, first of all, why is our model different? Well, we're cloud-based. We were the first one of its kind. We're the fastest growing company in the history of our real estate industry. We went from 1,000 agents to 90,000 agents in about I think it's about 12 years. It's phenomenal growth. And I like to ask them, Jeremy, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your plan? What's your exit strategy? Because a lot of times when I interview agents and they ask me, I like to ask them their expectations of me. But the ones that want to know what my expectations are of them is take advantage of what we have to offer. because in 5 years, if you do the things that I'm talking about today, I can almost guarantee that you will have these successes. It's not that challenging, folks. And the great thing about our company now in 2024 is that we've had so many great leaders like Brent Gove and Gene Frederick and Dave Conord that have paved the way for our success. So I feel very blessed. So that step 5 is at the meeting, use Forge dialogue, ask open-ended questions, get them to talk about themselves. You know, we all do. If you ask me about my kids, I can go on forever. And then I go over the Gene Frederick napkin presentation, and then I ask them, if you'd like to see more about EXP, I've got a couple of videos I can send you, okay? And the one I like to send first is Brent Gove's The EXP Model Explained. So Brent has a great video. Many of you have seen it. It's 37 minutes long. And quite honestly, folks, if somebody's not willing to sit down for 37 minutes and watch a video about the future for them, their kids, and their grandkids, they're probably not the right people to bring on board. And I say that because for some reason, we can't, in this day and age, we can't keep focused for 37 minutes on a video. They'd rather watch, reruns of Andy Griffith. Nothing against Andy Griffith, but we're talking about their future. So I send them the Brent Gove video. I also like to send them Gene Frederick's napkin presentation. I usually send that after I send the Brent Gove video. I love them both, but one explains more about about EXP, and the second is really specific about agent attraction with Gene's video. Okay, the next tip. You need to have enthusiasm and some knowledge about EXP. And I can tell you that if you don't know the value proposition of EXP, let me share some things with you that I like to go over. We have incredible training. Folks, you get to learn from some of the best agents in the world through EXP World, through live seminars. For those of us in Northern Virginia, coming in October at a big local association event, Leo, our CEO, is going to be one of the featured speakers. So it's great for EXP for him to be there. But we've got incredible support. I mean, we get support from all over the country, even from folks that we've never met before. I know a lot of you reach out to EXP agents, and they're more than happy to reach out and share their wisdom with you. So you've got incredible support. Upline, my team, they all support each other. It's phenomenal. I love you guys for that. We have statewide experienced brokers that are available pretty much around the clock. Amazing technology. The EXP World is first of its kind, where you have your own avatar. You can get instant help from the front desk. We have our metaverse. We have a new agent program. We have a mentor program. We're in all 50 states. We're in 24 countries. We've got a great luxury brand. We have relocation business. We have just one cap for multiple states. So I'm about to get my North Carolina license. I'll just have one cap for both states. So something really to cue in on when you realize that an agent is working in multiple states. They probably have different caps. And we have a great commercial division, and we even provide health insurance for our agents. Thanks, Kim. All right. And then you also need to know your competition. All right. So you need to know, where are people moving to? Where are they moving away from? What companies are growing? Which ones are shrinking? I can tell you without any reservation that the brick and mortar companies are struggling like they never have before. Profit margins in general brokerages are always minuscule. And when revenue goes down and expenses continue to go up, like rent and overhead and debt service, we don't have any of those, folks. So it puts us in such a strong position moving forward. So in fact, a few weeks ago, I went on a meeting. I got one of those recruiting emails from Keller Williams. And I went on the meeting. I met with the team leader. It was in this beautiful Class A space in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. They're probably paying through the nose in rent. I go there on a Monday morning around 11, and the place was empty. There was nobody there. And I got some intel on what Keller Williams is providing their agents. They're on a $28,000 cap. Okay. They start everybody at a 70-30 split. They have a 6% fee that they cap, and they have a quarterly technology fee. Right out of the gate, the spreadsheet I'll show you in a little bit. Right out of the gate, we can crush that. Just apples to apples comparison. And then I asked them about profit sharing. Now, remember, we have revenue sharing. Profit sharing is much different. So when you ask a Keller Williams agent about profit sharing, most of them say we don't have any because there's no profit. I asked the team leader, a nice lady that, hopefully will join EXP one day. I asked her what I could expect if I brought in 100 people over the next 5 years, and what kind of profit sharing could I make as a group. And she said, well, if we're profitable, maybe about $3,000 a month. Okay. So if any of you bring on 100 people, their first year, you will make how much? You'll make $400,000 in revenue share. So think about $36,000, $400,000, huge difference. And that's assuming that they're profitable. So know your competition. And I can tell you that your knowledge base will drive your enthusiasm. It will fuel your enthusiasm. I get, whenever I talk about EXP, I get really excited. My girlfriend will tell you that the year before I left my last company to join EXP, every time I talked about it, I got excited. So, it's real, folks. And you have to be willing to put in the time to learn. So you have access to the FYR Friday calls. I attend every single one of them. I take notes. I learn from the best. I share them with my team and with all of you. This is what I've learned. A few more steps. How are we doing on time? We're good. So Anna needs to come in. All right. So the next one is be engaged on social media. So if you're new in real estate, and some of you are, or if you've been doing this a long time, you need to have social media presence, because if you're not already regarded as an industry expert, and a lot of you are already, you need to be on social media. And I encourage you to be doing videos, videos about the lifestyle of the area that you're selling. People buy the house, but they also buy the lifestyle of the community. So you should be doing videos. I love it when I see agents out at new businesses doing videos to support that new local business. You can put it on social media, Facebook. You can build landing pages to use them in your KV Core CRM. That's a great way to do that. But be on social media, because the agents that you're attracting are going to be looking for your presence on social media. It's a big deal. So you want to demonstrate that you're an expert in the industry. I know a lot of you have been talking about the NAR lawsuit and how that's affected our business. And in some states it's pretty crushing, but in states like Virginia, I think we were always pretty far ahead when it came to buyer brokerage. So I don't think it's going to be as big of a hurdle as some people think. And then be consistent. I know a lot of you are great being consistent on social media, but you should schedule time every day to be on social media. Not all day, but maybe 20 minutes a day. Be consistent. Schedule time to do that. All right, there's 3 more tips I want to share with you, and then I want to show you this incredible spreadsheet that will make recruiting agents or attracting agents a lot easier. So the 8th tip is to host mastermind events and seminars. So our group likes to do them quarterly. We had one in June. It was a great success. We didn't talk about EXP. We made a decision not to bring up EXP. We just wanted to invite friends in the industry to come and enjoy a day at a winery. We had a CPA. We had a financial planner. We had a social media expert. We had a very motivational speaker. We provided breakfast and lunch. We got a title company and a lender to sponsor it with us. And I don't think Charlotte's on the call this morning, but Charlotte Bonini was the one that really set that up for us. So that's a great event to invite people to engage them, and most of you see that, but you should be the one hosting it. The next one I haven't done yet. I'm gearing up for this end of summer so that people like Cam Brar and I can be doing this together. But we're going to be holding EXP Model Explained seminars. And if you read the book Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers, great book. That's how he grew his team to 300,000 people. Is he was hosting, I could talk to 20 of you individually, and that takes a long time, or I can invite 20 of you to a meeting, let them know that we're going to be talking about EXP and doing a quick Q&A afterwards. but we have a great presentation. If you use Brent Gove's The Model Explained, I believe those slides are actually available in the EXP World and EXP Enterprise in our marketing. But that's a great way to do a lunch and learn, get a title company or a lender to go sponsor it. And if you want to know how folks like Gene Frederick grew his team to 20,000 people, that's how he did it. He would have weekly meetings, and what he was doing was he would actually do 3 one-on-ones a day, every day, Monday through Friday. And he did it for years and years and years. Now he's got 20,000 people on his team. And on the call on Monday, he was in his home in Breckenridge, Colorado, one of my favorite places for the summer. So, you know what? I think if Gene can do it, any of us can do this. He told us that, you know, he left Keller Williams after 21 years, I think, at Keller, and everybody thought he was crazy. And he'll tell you this. And he said the first 20 people he talked to when he left Keller Williams all said no. So he was kind of 0 for 20, you know, so don't be frustrated if you get some no's initially, because you probably will. I have. But he says now 18 of those 20 folks are with him. So, so the last tip is so true. The fortune is in the follow-up. All right. So I wasn't ready to join back in November of 22, but I joined in December of 23. And the whole time, those 12 months, you know, it was really tough for me. I was managing a great group of agents, but I knew that the future for me was not in brick and mortar. The future is in working for a cloud-based company that provides incredible support and training and tools for our agents. And it gives you an opportunity to share in the company dollar. And for those of you that have worked for other companies, you know, you didn't get to share in the company dollar. You didn't get anything really, I don't think, for the franchise fee. So, all right. So you've got 10 tips. Now, so I'm going to give you a few names of folks that you should check out with EXP. I've already mentioned 2 of them. Gene Frederick, you should be all over his videos. And if you can, if you're a part of the FYR group, which I think all of you are, we get an invitation to join Gene's group every first and third Monday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know why you guys aren't taking advantage of that. It's absolutely critical if you want to grow your team to learn from the best. And Gene's on, and some other real leaders are on that call. So, and then again, he has great YouTube videos. And if you want to be really slick and get better at this, learn to do the napkin presentation on a few pieces of paper, because you can go anywhere and do this. Once you have it in your head and you understand how the model is different, learn how to use that. And then I've already mentioned Brent Gove's video, The Model Explained. That's on YouTube. Here's some other folks. Eric Orland has an incredible story. He grew his team to 1,000. I think he's got 1,000 on his team now. And he did it. He did that in about 14 months, folks. 1,000. Rob Flick, many of you know that name. Thank you, Laura. Brent Gove, I mentioned. Eric Orland, I mentioned. And then here's a guy that I think I had seen one of his videos a few months ago, but it was one of those days I didn't watch the whole thing. But his name is John Mendelson. So John is, Eric is at 2,400 now. Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. So anyway, John, I was watching this video Friday night because I'm kind of a YouTube junkie when it comes to learning from EXP agents. And what John does is he decided to do cold calling for, Eric's last name is Orland, O-R-L-A-N-D. Okay. And he's got a great YouTube video where he's interviewed on how he did it. So John is, I'm not sure where John is, I think in the Midwest, and he has access to about 80,000 agents in 3 different MLSs, like all of us do. We're all part of MLSs. And what he decided to do was develop a system so that he was cold calling agents. All right. And his sweet spot is agents that produce between 3 million and 10 million in volume. Okay. And sometimes, you know, the last 12 months have been tough for a lot of agents. So sometimes you need to go back a couple of years to look at their production for this to make sense. What he does is once he's identified those agents, he reaches out to them and he says, hey, ring, ring. Hey, Nancy, this is Lars Henriksen at EXP. You're probably scratching your head wondering who I am. I was just calling to reach out to you today and find out how your business is going. And I had a question, and if the answer is no, that's perfectly okay. I wanted to see if we could schedule a 20-minute Zoom call, and I could show you how you could increase your income anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a year without changing a single thing about how you're going about your business. Now, who's going to say no to that? Any of you? Jen, would you say no to that? That's an easy one, right? And they don't even know you. And so how do you do that? Well, first of all, you need to have a spreadsheet. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you how simple this is, okay? And anybody can do this. Can y'all see that? Give me a yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So this is there's 4 different charts here. And in the first one, I can look up on homes.com. It's probably the easiest application that I have access to that's part of our MLS. I can look up agent production anywhere in the country on homes.com. I can look at their last 12 months, their last 24 months, and if they've been in the business long enough, I can actually look at their last 5 years of production. And there's other tools that you can pay for, like Brokermetrics is one, where you can actually see more detail, more trending. But I'm going to start off with here's an $8 million producer. Okay. I know that in the last 12 months, they've sold 5 houses for sellers. They've sold 5 listings and 5 buyer sides. Average sales price is $800,000. I'm going to assume that they're getting 2.5% on a side. So their average commission is $20,000. So they're making in gross commission income, or GCI, about $200,000. Okay. And I know that for many agents that are with Keller, Remax, not all of them, but most of your traditional brick and mortar companies, they're going to pay a 70-30 split. Almost every single one of them is paying a 6% franchise fee that does not go away. And then their cap, a lot of them are $24,000. Some are more, some are less. So what's important really is that they're not, at EXP, what's your franchise fee? It's 0%. We're not a franchise. We're agent owned. In fact, you should know this. 67% of the company, I believe, is owned by us, the agents. So that's huge. And we're traded on NASDAQ. We're not some Ponzi scheme. We would all be in jail if we were. So, all right. So simple enough. And again, you can plug any numbers in. I can change this to, let's say that they have a higher sales price, and maybe they're making average sales price on listings $1 million. All right, but let me leave it at that. So I'm going to jump all the way to step 4 to see what their comparison is. And I'm not bringing up revenue share yet. I might, if they show some interest. In fact, they might even bring it up. So here we go. We've got now they're doing $9 million in volume. At their current brokerage, that all stays the same. They're still making their gross commission is $225,000. But guess what? By getting rid of that franchise fee and dropping their cap from $24,000 to $16,000, their take-home pay is an additional $21,500. And folks, that's right out of the gate. Now, some of you have asked me, well, when do you bring up the $85 a month and the startup fee? I go over that with them when I share with them the Brent Go video, because that's covered in there. But full disclosure, there's an $85 a month. There's some other fees once you cap. I can go over those with you as well. But this usually captures their attention. And, the higher in production, the more money they will save and earn, really, put back in their pockets by joining EXP. Okay. So I also like to show them, so Jeremy, I know you've got friends in the business. How many other people do you know in the Annapolis area that would like to take advantage of all the things that we have to offer at EXP? And what are they going to say? Probably 5, at least 5, right? 5 agents. Well, let's just see how that works. So here's your revenue share. We've got, so if I bring on 5 agents, remember their first 12 months, you can make up to $4,000. And as long as they cap, you'll be making pretty much that $4,000 the first 12 months. That's an additional $20,000. And if each one of those will help you, if each one of those brings on 5 agents, or I'm sorry, just 1 agent, that's an additional $16,000. So you're adding an additional $21,500 on the just on the split and the cap and the no franchise fee. And that's an additional almost $60,000 more a year. And their production hadn't changed at all. But let me show you another example. I know some folks that are, let's say that they're producing 30 million a year in volume. Okay. Look at how this changes. Try to be realistic. Let's say they're in the luxury market and they're working for Coldwell Banker or ERA or Sotheby's or any of the brand that pays the franchise fee. Look how this changes now. Folks, they're making an additional $53,000 a year. They're paying just on the 6%, folks, they're paying $45,000 a year. So in 10 years, they will have spent almost or lost really $500,000, really $450,000 over the next 10 years, just on the 6% franchise fee. And I would love for somebody to speak up and tell me what do they get? What does the agent get for that franchise fee? It's very little, because remember, most consumers are hiring you and not the brand. That's why we encourage you to market yourself and your brand and leverage the EXP. You know, it's powered by EXP, but it's really you they're hiring. Okay. And let's just do some math here. And this is all in the spreadsheet, and I'd be happy to send this to you if you send me a request. So let's say that they managed to have 20 and each one of them had 2, that's 40. See how that works? Who would like to have an additional $208,000? And I think you can probably do this 20 in about 2 or 3 years, don't you think? Yeah. All right. Any questions about how this works? Are you guys all asleep?
What's John's last name again, Lars?
It's Mendelson, John Mendelson.
Sean,
Yeah.
That's right.
John, Jon. And what he does is he knows that he's going to get some no's from people. Okay. But he says, you know what? It doesn't matter to me. I just call that next person because I know that I've got 80,000 people that I want to share the EXP model with. Okay. And again, it's a $3 to $10 million producer is really the ideal target. There's a lot of agents in that category. And I can tell you from the agents that I've spoken to over the last couple of years about this business, they're all counting their pennies right now because, you know what, commissions, whenever revenue is down and sales are down, most income is going to go down. Just makes sense. And unfortunately for the brick and mortar companies, their costs really don't change, which is why we're seeing offices close. We're seeing layoffs with the brick and mortar. We're not doing that at EXP. We're growing our company. So, okay, let me stop share screen. And we've got about 10 more minutes. So anybody want to jump in and anybody have any aha moments or learn anything today? What do you got?
I love that script that John used, that you use, because if you're making, 40, 50, 60 phone calls a day to agents like Eric Orland does, you need those conversations to be short so that you can close an appointment. Yeah. And that's like, I love that. I'm going to definitely go back to the recording and write that script down.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, I'm just curious, would you be available for a 20-minute Zoom call where I can show you how you can make an additional, and then it's blank to blank. So based on your production level, it could be anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 more a year. When you call those top agents in your marketplace that are doing $30 million in production, and they're at a franchise company, which most of them are, many of them are, they haven't joined EXP yet. That's what they're paying. Those are real dollars. So would you be available for a 20-minute Zoom call? And I can show you how you can make an additional $20,000 to $50,000 more a year without changing a single thing with your business. Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for repeating that.
You're welcome.
I think this was really helpful, was knowing what the other business models even look like, knowing to ask for, hey, what have you paid in a franchise fee? What is your cap? So on and so forth, and asking those questions to dig to understand.
Yeah, and what's amazing to me is I'm meeting more and more agents with EXP is how many of them have come over from Remax and especially Keller Williams. It's phenomenal how many people like Gene Frederick and Brent Gove. That's where they were. And I'm a huge Gene Frederick fan. Some of you have had the pleasure of meeting him, and he's amazing. And I think people ask me, why do you think Gene still works? I think he just loves what he does. And I also think that he kind of wants to see how far this is going to go. So we're at about 90,000 agents right now. He thinks over the next 4 years, we'll go to 200,000. And then we're going to go in the next 4 years to 500,000. Okay. And, I don't doubt the man. I really think that that's where we're heading because, some of you are able to talk to broker owners, to, maybe it's a small mom and pop that is struggling right now to make ends meet. And I tell you folks, we have a solution for them. We can put everything in the cloud. We can provide them endless training opportunities. And we're not even getting into with the top producers. Some of my agents brought this up the other day that, once they cap and they go to Icon, they're getting that $16,000 of company dollar back in the form of EXP stock. It's a beautiful thing. And we have people in our line, in the FYR group, Elizabeth Riley, she's Gene Frederick's sponsor, believe it or not. God bless her. And she's a 7-time Icon agent. And, she shares her knowledge with us. Great example of somebody that did both. She still sells in the luxury brand down in Austin, Texas. And she's also a great resource for all of us. So yeah, thanks, Jeremy. All right, anybody else? And then the last guy I want to mention, I mentioned him earlier, great guy. I've yet to meet him in person, but he's been on the FYR Friday calls before. His name is Nolly Williams. And he's the one that says the fortune is in the follow-up. It's interesting. Brian Carruthers, I can tell, who reads which books because Brian Carruthers talks about the same thing. You've got to follow up with people. And because, not everybody is ready to jump from one company to the next. And sometimes the ones that are really eager to jump aren't always the ones you want to have on your team. And that's one thing that I think John Mendelson mentions in his video is that, sometimes you make the wrong decision, in attracting people, but that's okay. You learn. Learn from everything. Every day in our business is an opportunity to learn, whether it's agent attraction or working with buyers and sellers. And it's one of the wonderful things about real estate. All right. Anybody else? And for those of you on the Reach the Summit group, if you want to send me names of folks that you'd like me to talk to set up a Zoom call or a coffee meeting, when you give me those names, I'm gonna call them up and say, hey, Kyle, it's Lars Henriksen. I work with Cindy Burris with EXP, and we're business partners. And Kyle, Cindy thought so highly of you. She wanted to see if you would be interested in meeting with us to discuss how we can help you grow your business at EXP. Would you be available for a 20-minute phone call or a Zoom call? Okay. And I think it's a great way to leverage your upline and think about who your sponsor is. And I know most of your sponsors are more than happy to do that because you know what? We all help each other. In fact, another example is Elizabeth Riley. She's in our family tree. She's Gene Frederick's sponsor. I had a really, really good friend, or still do, down in Austin, Texas, who her company had just been bought out by Compass, and very unhappy about it. Didn't like how they had delivered their message. And so she called me up. This was a few months ago, and she needed some coaching. I was on the phone with her for 2 hours. It wasn't necessarily the great best use of my time, but I love you, Christy. If you watch this, she's not on today. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I know someone in my family tree. I don't know her personally, but she's down in Austin, Texas. She specializes in the luxury brand, and I know that she'd be happy to talk to you about how the luxury brand works at EXP. And she's like, okay, I'll do that. So I messaged Elizabeth. I never met her before, but sent her a message through Workplace. And right away, she got back to me. She said, I'd be more than happy to, because you know what, folks, we all work together. This was great about EXP. It's unprecedented in my career to have this kind of leverage throughout the country and really throughout the world. So, so Elizabeth met with Christy, and the next day I get a phone call from Christy. Hey, Lars, I'm joining EXP. I love Elizabeth. I love the model. I can't wait to get started. So that's how you can leverage your upline. Know the people that are in your family tree. And then, there are even people on this call, people like myself. If you don't know me, I'm more than willing to have a call with you and talk about how we can grow your business, not just with agent attraction, but also if you need any suggestions for your sales. Okay. Anyone else? You guys ready for a great weekend? Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, we're going to end the call. If no one else has any other questions or comments. Oh, and by the way, I'm in a book club. Been with some of the same people for years and years on book clubs. And this is our book this month, Giftology. Pretty cool book. This guy is like the top sales guy at Cutco. And so this is a good book about how to give good gifts and when to give them and things like that. So anyway, keep learning. Thank you so much for logging on today. I'm heading down to Asheville to pick up one of my daughters at the airport. And we're going to go to a place called 12 Bones, which is a barbecue place. And they have the best blueberry chipotle barbecue sauce in the world. So,
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Hey, Kim. So if you're in the Asheville area, we're going to be down there around 7:00 tonight. All right. And for
Bring
those
me
of
a
you,
bottle back.
I
I'll pay
will.
you
I
for it.
promise.
I'll pay you for it.
Okay. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, and I'll see for those of you with Reach the Summit. I'll see you guys very soon. Let's be on the Monday morning 8:30 a.m. call with Anna, and she's leading that for us.
Yeah.
And then have a fantastic weekend. And if you have any Baltimore commercial real estate agent referrals, please reach out to MS Carlisle, aka Carlisle PA, and we'll get you hooked up. Okay.
I have a question. Can I ask one real quick? Does anybody have any off-market properties? My investor group is looking for some off-market properties in any location.
I have a 200. Yeah, I have a townhouse coming up in Canton. No,
All right. If you do, send Kim Baggett a
Can you-
message.
Carly,
Yeah.
can you reach out to me?
Yeah. Who's talking? Kim Baggett. Excellent. I'll let you know.
I just put my number in the chat.
Copy that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, folks.
Lars, thank you so much.
My
Thanks,
pleasure.
Lars. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Lars.
Lars. It was wonderful.
Yeah, good to see you, Pamela.
Great
Thank you,
job.
Lars.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
Lars.
Bye. Have a great weekend.
You too.